August 10, 1821. Gateway Statehood. Missouri officially joined the United States as the 24th state in the Union. This event was the culmination of years of territorial development, population growth, and political negotiation. Missouri's admission was a central moment in early 19th century American history because it directly connected to the sectional debates over slavery and the balance of power between free and slave states. The Missouri Territory had been created in 1812 from part of the Louisiana Purchase, which the United States had acquired from France in 1803. In the years following the purchase, the region experienced an influx of settlers from Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia, and other states, many of whom brought enslaved African Americans with them. The territory's economy became closely tied to agriculture, particularly hemp and tobacco cultivation, which relied on slave labor. When Missouri applied for statehood in 1819, the application prompted fierce debate in Congress. Northern legislators sought to restrict the expansion of slavery into the territory, while Southern legislators argued that new states should have the right to decide the issue for themselves. The conflict threatened national unity by pitting free states against slave states in a struggle over legislative power. The dispute was resolved through the Missouri Compromise of 1820, brokered largely by Henry Clay. Under the compromise, Missouri was admitted as a slave state, while Maine, which separated from Massachusetts, was admitted as a free state. This maintained the numerical balance between free and slave states in the Senate. Additionally, the compromise prohibited slavery in the remaining Louisiana Purchase territory north of latitude 36 degrees 30 minutes, except for Missouri itself. Although the Missouri Compromise temporarily settled the immediate dispute, it revealed deep divisions in the nation over slavery. Missouri's admission marked the first time Congress had engaged in such an extensive debate over the expansion of slavery, and the solutions adopted demonstrated that the issue could not be avoided indefinitely. The compromise served as a precedent for future legislative efforts to maintain sectional balance, but it also established geographic boundaries for slavery that would later be contested. Statehood also brought institutional development within Missouri. The state constitution, adopted in 1820, formed the legal and political framework for the new state government. It contained provisions that explicitly allowed slavery, reflecting the prevailing economic and social system of the region. Missouri's first capital was established in St. Charles on a temporary basis, and the permanent capital was later located in Jefferson City. Missouri's geographic position gave it strategic importance. Situated along the Mississippi and Missouri rivers, the state served as a commercial link between eastern markets and the expanding western frontier. Its location also made it a border state, with cultural and economic ties to both North and South. This position would later play a significant role during the Civil War, when Missouri experienced internal divisions and armed conflict between Unionist and Confederate sympathizers. The admission of Missouri on August 10, 1821, was more than a local milestone. It was a moment that reflected national political tensions, economic patterns, and the complexities of federal expansion. It demonstrated the challenges of incorporating diverse regions into a single political union while balancing competing interests. The Missouri Compromise delayed the sectional crisis, but could not resolve the underlying conflict over slavery, which would continue to intensify in the decades leading to the Civil War. The historical significance of Missouri's entry into the Union lies in both its immediate and long-term effects. In the short term, it preserved a fragile peace between sections of the country and allowed for continued territorial growth without immediate disunion. In the long term, it served as a reminder that each new state brought with it questions of political balance and social order that could deeply influence the nation's stability. Missouri's statehood also highlighted the role of compromise in American governance during the early republic. The negotiations of 1820 and 1821 showed that while lawmakers could reach agreements to address urgent issues, such settlements might only postpone rather than prevent future conflicts. The Missouri Compromise stood as federal law for over 3 decades, until it was effectively repealed by the Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1854, which allowed settlers to determine the status of slavery by popular sovereignty. That repeal reignited sectional tensions and contributed to the political conditions that produced the Civil War. The date of August 10, 1821, therefore, represents a critical junction in U.S. history. It symbolizes the Union's expansion westward, the fragile political equilibrium of the era, and the persistent struggle over slavery that would ultimately shape the nation's future. Missouri's entry as the 24th state stands as a case study in how territorial growth could simultaneously advance national development and deepen regional divides. For enthusiasts of historical ephemera, visit history-collectors.com to find collectibles that might complement your collection. You can own a piece of history.